Hello, my name's Corinna Wilford. I'm a practitioner and broadcaster, and I'm doing a few sessions which are looking at how to survive life with a problem drinker. It's a big problem out there that's not discussed very much, and I'm just hoping that this will be of help. The first thing I'd like to talk about is that actually with most drinkers there probably was a problem before you knew them. And you will probably be guessing, is it to do with me? Am I to blame? Am I responsible? Because you probably have been told that you are. You probably have asked your drinker why they drink so much, and that is very likely to have had a defensive response. When we as adults ask each other why we're doing something, we automatically have that sort of reaction. And the problem is that you probably didn't get a clear answer. You probably got a very defensive and, yes, something completely unsatisfactory, which makes you feel more frustrated and more angry, and it just starts to spiral into what could become a full-blown argument, and again gives them an excuse or reason to go and have another drink. You may feel your situation is completely hopeless and that it's been going on for some time and that you just cannot see a way out. It is really important that you start to acknowledge that there is a problem and think about who you might be able to talk to, but we'll talk about that again in another session. You may have been experiencing feelings of anger, resentment, rejection, and also that being told that you're being unreasonable, that there's nothing there, and that it's actually your problem. There are many partners or family members that end up drinking more themselves in order to cope with the stress of the situation. And this can lead to you feeling depressed as well, because you get the withdrawal symptoms of alcohol. Alcohol is a depressive, and it's likely to have that sort of effect on you. But your drinker will then turn around and say you're the one with the problem, and that's not what is going to help you. If we're told often enough and repeatedly that we're useless, ugly, stupid, whatever it is, you will actually start to believe it. And that does nothing for your self-esteem or self-worth. Sometimes what happens is that the behaviour gradually deteriorates, whether that be verbal or physical abuse. And what can initially seem quite shocking, over a period of time you get used to it and you start to accept it. And maybe the drinker in your life apologises, says it will never happen again, and doesn't understand why it happened. It doesn't matter. Over a period of time, unfortunately, they may stop apologising or the abuse gets worse. Unfortunately, the drinker in your life is very unlikely to take responsibility for anything that they've done or said whilst they were drunk. It's much more likely that they'll blame whatever is around them, and of course you, being closest to them, are in the firing line. Unless your drinker acknowledges that there is a problem and wants to change, nothing is likely to change. It doesn't matter what you do as a person, whether you shout, scream, throw things, whatever it might be, it's not going to make a difference. For you to actually be watching your partner behaving as they are and feeling that you can't change anything makes you feel really angry, frustrated, and ultimately gives you a huge sense of powerlessness, which is not a great place to be. Heavy drinkers can have very different personalities when they're sober or when they're drunk. You may well find that when they're sober they remind you of the person that you originally fell in love with. They could be caring, sensitive, considerate, and likewise, equally, they could also be very cranky, moody, depressed because of the withdrawal symptoms of alcohol. Over a period of time, if you're living under these conditions and in this stress, it can start to have a real effect on you. You don't know whether or not you can relax in your home. They may be very sweet, they may be angry. You just don't know how they're going to behave after a drinking session. And that makes for a very uncomfortable living. Many partners will actually suffer from long-term effects of living in this kind of situation. You may find that you have panic attacks, that you don't sleep well, that you don't look after yourself in terms of eating, you lose your appetite. It's really, really stressful, and anybody who hasn't been in that situation will find it very difficult to understand. Mental stress can lead to physical exhaustion and other symptoms such as high or low blood pressure. You can have so little sleep that you're exhausted. You can also be very fearful all the time that something's either going to happen to your drinker or to one of your family members, and that over a period of time is also going to potentially cause you stress. Drinking more as a partner is not going to help you. If you are of the opinion that by drinking what's left in the bottle is going to stop your drinker drinking it, it's not going to help. Drinking more as a partner is dangerous for your own mental and physical well-being. It's not going to affect how much your drinker is drinking. If you finish off the bottle or can or whatever is available, it's not going to stop them finding more. If you're somebody who's giving out affection and love to another person who is in turn rejecting you or even physically or mentally abusing you, then over a period of time that's going to have a massive impact on you and make you feel isolated and lonely. What we're going to do in the next session is look at ways of improving your situation and finding out how you can get some help.